Hey, what is up guys? Digirex here, and today we are doing what is the best Titan subclass for Trials of Osiris after the June update, and I already did one of these for the Hunter and for the Warlock, so check those out. My Warlock one was super successful, got a lot of views. My Hunter one was pretty successful, got a lot of views, an okay amount of views, well for me, because I'm a smaller YouTuber, but we are going to get right into this with the Titans. So now Titans are a little bit controversial now, just because Hammer of Soul got a few buffs to it, and Striker is insane right now, and Defender you can even use, so it's kind of weird with Titans, but we're going to get right into it. And first we're going to start off with grenades. So now, Defender grenades, they have the magnetic grenades or suppression grenades. I'd say either go with one of those two if you're going to use the Defender. And magnetic grenades are really good if you pop a bubble. Magnetic grenades are sticky nades, so they're just super easy mode, easy to get kills, but you do have to be in kind of closer quarters to use them really effectively. So if you pop your bubble, they're really useful to just throw them outside the bubble. And of course, while we're talking about grenades, you also have the Armamentarium exotic chest piece for the Titan, which gives you an extra grenade, so that's really helpful. And then you have suppression grenades. Now I would probably go with suppression grenades because you can stop supers with suppression grenades, and that's super important in Trials of Osiris. You can do many things with suppression grenades. You can make it easier for your team to push. You can suppress all three of the other team. And these are just really good for making pushes, because once you take down that first enemy in Trials of Osiris, you can really push that advantage, and that's how you start to win a round. So if you isolate an enemy, suppress them, they're basically dead no matter what. They can't use any of their abilities. They can't double jump or anything. They're super slow, so that would be good. So I would say go with suppression grenades, and now these grenades are a really good option. So now moving on to the Sunbreaker nades, I would recommend either Fusion nades or Incendiary nades. Now Incendiary nades are pretty good for blowing enemies out of cover, and that's especially important in Trials of Osiris because then your teammates can just mow them down. And then Fusion grenades is the same as magnetic grenades. It's kind of easy to use, but you have to be in closer quarters to use them super effectively, unless you just Hail Mary them across the map and get a kill every time. And in that case you're a god, but you do need to be a little bit closer to use these super effectively and consistently. But Incendiary nades are really good. They have a pretty large blast radius, you can hurt multiple enemies, they do burn damage, so those are a really good option for this. Now moving on to Striker. There's really one good option for Striker, and it's actually a great option, the lightning grenades. These grenades are the ones you can stick on walls, and they have a huge zone control radius, 122 damage. And these grenades are just super good in general, and especially in Trials of Osiris. You can blow enemies out of cover. You can do tons of damage to them in a room before you enter it. These grenades are just super good. They have such a large range, and if you have two using the Armamentarium, you can cover whole rooms with this grenade. So now let's move on to melees. So I'm going to start off with the Defender once again. The Defender has the Force Barrier melee, which is actually pretty good, but you do have to kill it, so it's not like you do have to kill your target for it to proc. So it's not like Scorch on a Warlock where you can not kill target but you still get the overshield. You have to kill the target for the overshield. So this is okay. This isn't amazing, especially if you're running in with a shotgun. You shotgun somebody, finish them off with your melee. You have an overshield for your next engagement if another enemy is coming close to you. But that's the only reason it's super good. So now we're going to go on to the Sunbreaker melee. This melee, while using Combustion, it does a lot more extra damage. Or not Combustion, Cauterize. It'll give you your health back if you get a kill, so it's kind of like Lifesteal on the Voidwalker Warlock. And this just really isn't too good at all. I would definitely not recommend using the melee on the Sunbreaker. And then you have the Storm Fist, which does extra damage. So now this is actually pretty good because you can just shoot them once with your hand cannon and then Storm Fist them, or even shoot them once with like a Scout Rifle and Storm Fist them, because it does a lot of extra damage, but you don't get health back or an overshield or anything. Like, none of these Titan melees are actually super good, like the Warlocks or the Hunters. But before we move on to supers, we're going to move on to other notable features of these classes. So with the Striker, you do have Shoulder Charge, which is another melee. And this is pretty good in Trials of Osiris if you like making those ballsy shotgun plays. And then you also have Juggernaut, which is good if you like making those ballsy shotgun plays. So these are just really close quarter engagements kind of thing. You run at the enemy, and if you use a shotgun, I would recommend Juggernaut, because Juggernaut creates a shield around you when you're moving quickly. But if you use a sniper, I'd recommend Shoulder Charge, just for those close quarter engagements when they get up close to you. And then On Sunbreaker, you have Carter Eyes, which is really good. Whenever you get a kill with one of your abilities, you get your health back. So basically like Lifesteal for the Voidwalker Warlock. And then you just, for Defender, there's not really too many notable stuff. Of course, you can Titan Skate on all these. So let's move right into supers. With Defender, you have your bubble, which if you run the round long enough, you can use your bubble to capture zones. That doesn't happen too often, although on slower maps like Rusted Lands, ones that aren't really symmetrical, and that are in the Trials playlist, like Burning Shrine, sometimes it does run down all the way because nobody makes a move for so long. So you can pop this on the objective and probably get an easy capture, although your enemies probably have their supers if you've been waiting that long and can shut your bubble down pretty easily with a Fist of Havoc or a Nova Bomb and just get an easy triple kill as your team tries to capture the objective. So I would not recommend this, but although if you like bubble, it can be really effective. Like I said, capturing zones, killing enemies, you can do all that. Most enemies probably won't challenge your bubble, especially in Trials of Osiris, without a super. So I wouldn't pop this unless you're popping it like on a zone, or something like if they're charging you with their supers at heavy ammo, you can pop this to secure your heavy and just kill them all. Stuff like that. Alright, moving on to Sunbreaker, you have the Hammer of Soul. This is actually pretty dang good for Trials if you're good with it. Like, I've seen a lot of people who are like, oh, Hammer of Soul's terrible after the nerf. Well, it's not terrible, it's just not as good as it was when Taken King first came out. Like, you can still use it very effectively. The blast radius is still pretty big, and you can throw a lot of hammers. Not to mention you can Titan Skate, so you can catch up with pretty much any target that tries to run away. So this is really effective for even getting team wipes, taking down 2 or 3 enemies, or even shutting down supers like Storm Trances, because a hammer's going to beat a Storm Trance no matter what, just because they dish out a lot of damage a lot faster. And now you have Fist of Havoc, the good old Fist of Havoc. With Fist of Havoc, you can shut down supers really easily, which is especially helpful in Trials of Osiris. If an Arc Blade, like Golden Gun, even like somebody self-reses, you can just shut it down right away and leave it no threat to your round. That's pretty much the only thing useful. Sometimes you do get a double or a triple slam to totally just destroy the rounds, and you can panic it just in case you're about to die and not go down so your teammates are not down at one man. But honestly, I feel like Hammer of Soul is actually the best, or it really just depends on your playstyle. If you like shutting down those supers and stuff, definitely use Striker. If you like getting team wipes and stuff like that, clutching rounds, Hammer of Soul is probably the best. And Defender, I don't know, the bubble's just kind of lackluster. So overall, I would go with Striker. I think Striker's the best. It has a pretty good melee with that extra damage. It has nice grenades. Like lightning grenades are amazing. And then it has the one bang super that can shut down any other supers in Trials of Osiris and even get double or triple kills with ease if the other team is sticking together. So I would definitely go with Striker, not to mention Shoulder Charge or Juggernaut in that last column of perks on your skill tree. But that's my final verdict, that's my opinion. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope this video was helpful for you guys. And I seriously hope you guys play Titans in Trials of Osiris, because sometimes they're actually really good. I know people run 3 Hunters and just go flawless every week, but Titans are also really good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you like Overwatch, The Division, Destiny, Call of Duty, Pokemon Go, any games like that, and then Big Titties. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This has been Digirex. Peace.